that he was with her until the day before, the position of the vessel had been unfavorable for observation. Chapter 13. The Good Consul's Compassionate Lying. Demoralization set in. Even the comfort of the maid was dulled. They decided that Cho-Cho-san should go to see the Good Consul, while the maid and the baby remained at home to welcome him if, perhaps, he had not gone with the warship. They had already created this hope. The maid helped her down the steepest part of the hill. Nevertheless, when she arrived at the consulate, she was quite breathless. The consul was alone. There were no frivolities now. Each knew that the other understood. "Me? I got little heart illness, I think," the girl panted in excuse of her lack of ceremony, and the consul's pitying stare. She looked very ill, but her smile was still tragically bright. The consul placed her a chair. She declined it. There was a moment of conscious silence. Then he went hesitatingly to his desk and got an envelope containing money, a large sum. He silently handed her this. She looked at him in appealing inquiry, but she did not take the money. "It is only in remembrance of the past. He wishes you to be always happy, as he says he is. He confidently hopes for your good wishes and congratulations." There was moisture in the consul's eyes, only questioning in hers. He suddenly saw that she did not understand. He decided that she never should. He did not speak again, nor did she for a space. Then, "Happy? Happy?" she murmured dizzily. "But how kin I be happy if he do not come? How can he be happy if he do not come?" The consul was silent. He still held the money toward her. She tried to smile a little, to make him think she was indifferent concerning his answer to the question she was about to ask. "Ah! You tole him 'bout that joke, that little joke we make on him." The consul pretended ignorance. She explained. "That 'bout me gon' marry with Yamadori and take his bebby 'way?" He had to answer now. "Oh, that was too foolish to talk about seriously." Pinkerton had been glad to hear it. "But you tole him?" She hoped now he had not. "Well," he looked out of the window. He would not strike, but she would be struck. But you tole him?" She had raised her voice piteously. "Yes," answered the consul, dully, wondering what he could say next. She gasped and wiped her dry lips. "Yes, tha' 's right. Tha' 's what I as' you do. An' what he say?" she questioned huskily. The consul was willing to lie as deeply as the occasion might demand. The woe in the girl's face afflicted him. He saw in her attire the pitiful preparations to welcome the husband he now knew to be a craven, and in her face what it had cost to wait for him. But in specie the lie was difficult. "Well," he began uncertainly, it all happened about as you had supposed. He got very angry, and would have rushed right up the hill as you thought, only What next? The wish to lie had grown upon him wondrously as he went on. But invention flagged. The despatches on his desk caught his eye. "Only he was not permitted a moment's leave while in the harbor. He had all these despatches to prepare for his government, the war, you know, all in cipher." He showed them to her. A brilliant thought came into his head. "See, they're all in his handwriting." He had not written a line of them. "His ship was ordered away suddenly to China, but he'll be back here some of these fine days, and then—" The rest was for her. At any rate, he could lie no more. All the gods in heaven bless you, she said, sinking with the reaction. She reeled, and he put her into the chair. Her head fell limply back, and her pallid face looked up at him with the weary eyes closed. But there was rest and peace on it, and it was still very beautiful. Some one was approaching in haste, and he drew a screen before her. Chapter 14. The Blonde Woman. A woman entered. "Mr. Sharpless, the American consul?" she asked while crossing the threshold. The consul bowed. "Can you reach my husband at Kobe by telegraph?" "I think so. Who is your husband?" He took up a writing pad as he spoke. "Lieutenant Pinkerton of the "One moment, for God's sake!" It was too late. The eyes of the little woman in the chair were fixed on his. They even tried to smile a little, wearily, at the poor result of his compassionate lying. She shook her head for silence. "I beg your pardon. I'm ready," said the consul roughly. He made no other explanation. "Proceed." "I should like you to send this telegram. Just saw the baby and his nurse. Can't we have him at once? He is lovely. Shall see the mother about it to-morrow. Was not at home when I was there to-day. Expect to join you Wednesday week by Kyoto Maru. May I bring him along? Adelaide." As she advanced and saw Cho-Cho-san, she stopped in open admiration. "How very charming! How lovely you are, dear! Will you kiss me, you pretty plaything?" Cho-Cho-san stared at her with round eyes, as children do when afraid. Then her nostrils quivered, and her lids slowly closed. "No," she said, very softly. "Ah, well," laughed the other, "I don't blame you. They say you don't do that sort of thing to women, at any rate. I quite forgive our men for falling in love with you. Thanks for permitting me to interrupt you. And, Mr. Sharpless, will you get that off at once? Good day." She went with the hurry in which she had come. It was the blonde woman they had seen on the deck of the passenger steamer. They were quite silent after she was gone, the consul still at his desk, his head bowed impotently in his hands. Cho-Cho-san rose presently and staggered toward him. She tried desperately to smile, but her lips were tightly drawn against her teeth. Searching unsteadily in her sleeve, she drew out a few small coins and held them out to him. He curiously took them on his palm. "They are his, all that is left of his beautiful Moni. I shall need no more. Give them to him. I like if you also say I sorry. No, no, no. Glad, glad, glad!" She humbly sighed. "Me? I wish him that happiness same like he wish for himself an' me. Me? I shall be happy, mebby. Tell him I shall be happy." Her head drooped for a moment. When she raised it she was quite emotionless, if one might judge from her face. "Thang him, that Mr. B. F. Pikkerton, also for all that kindness he have been unto me. Permit me to thang you, Augustness, for that same. You She could smile a little now at the pretty recollection. Then the tears came slowly into her eyes. "You, the mos' bes' nice man in all the whole worl'." She closed her eyes a moment and stood quite still. The consul said below his breath, "Pinkerton and all such as he." "Good night," said Cho-Cho-san, and at the door looking back, "Sayonara," and another tired smile. She staggered a little as she went out. "Alas, you also have seen her?" wailed the intuitive little maid as she let her mistress in. "And she's more beautiful than the sun goddess," answered Cho-Cho-san. the maid knelt to take off her shoes.